Hi gents, we'll not worry about this board for the minute. This is something I'm working on for a good friend of mine, but it's not the subject of this video. This socket is. I just want to point something out. With the global pandemic on, there's a massive chip shortage. And the parts for these boards are getting very rare anyway. So, I mean, there's eBay and whatever, but there's a lot of counterfeit parts about, unfortunately. So what we're tending to do is harvest or pull parts off another board to fix a board we're working on. It seems fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. You take a perfectly good working part off a board that's died for some other reason, and you fit a socket and fit it to your repair. But I want to show you something. When you're changing out parts, you need to make sure you have the legs of said part cleaned up properly, and I'll show you why. You see this socket here? I fitted an interface adapter to this. I believe it's 6821 for this when I was troubleshooting this early on. But I didn't quite clean the solder off the legs properly when I took it out. And then when I put it in this socket, I don't know if you can see that, but I've broken two of the pins clean off in the socket. And this socket, the chip was only fitted once to this. And you see it there, and there's another one there. Broken clean off. And all I did was I pulled apart and then I fitted it to this. Sorry, the focus is a wee bit all over the place, but never mind. Yeah, but you get the idea. It does focus in fairly well, this camera though. You still tap it for the focus. Well, you get the idea anyway. You have to watch when you're pulling parts that you clean them up properly. What I would do is I would just take a little bit of solder blade or whatever and just run it under the legs of the chip and clean all the excess solder off, and check for little copper through holes as well, because sometimes they pull out of unused pads. It doesn't do the board, you'll sometimes get through holes that pull out, and it doesn't do the board any harm because it's an unused pin, but you still have to watch, because that caused me all sorts of problems, that socket. And it would cause other people all sorts of problems as well. I mean, you think you've put a working socket in and you haven't, because what's happened is, excuse me, you put the chip in, and because it's good, I don't know if it's socket quality is getting less or whatever, but you put the chip in and breaks the pin clean off in the socket, and then you think you've done a repair, but you actually haven't. So I just wanted to point that out, and I will get back to showing you what I'm doing with this at a later date. So bye for now.